everyone, Lisa here from Down to Earth Gardening. Welcome to today's video, which is about a little garden renovation. So this is my roadside garden bed at my house. You may have seen it in some other videos. I've got some drought tolerant plants in here that have been pretty great, and I have them in the drought tolerant perennial video. But it's across the street from our house. We own down to the water, and it's beautiful down here. We live on a little pond, and so I really like having something for a little bit of curb appeal down here, and I can enjoy it from the house. People walk around the pond a lot, and they can also enjoy it. But in my opinion, it needs some work. So it's about 3 years old, and I'm going to take my own advice. What I always tell my clients is you should love your garden. That's what a garden is for. That's what it's all about. That's why we have a garden. So I don't love everything that's going on here, so I thought it would be fun to show you my process, and I just want to tell you a little bit about what's been working and what hasn't. Because when you do a garden renovation, that's what you're thinking about. You're thinking about what has worked and what hasn't and what can I improve on. And sometimes if you have some things that work really well, my hot tip is do more of it. So, for example, a couple of things that have really worked in this garden are my grasses and my Russian sage. So my plan for down here is to do a little more of both of those things. And I've got some fountain grass that I'm going to add to this. Fall is a great time to do a garden renovation because a lot of times you can pick up some plants a little bit cheaper on sale at the end of the season. So the plants I'm adding today aren't in tip-top shape, not normally what I plant, but like I said, it's the end of the season, so I got them on sale, and I think they're going to be great. So I'm going to be removing a couple of things and keeping some things. So the other items that I'm going to be keeping, I'm going to tell you about first, is the cone flower. And I do like to leave the cones on them for the fall. I have down in front some sedum, which does great down here. So sedum is a keeper. So another keeper that I really love is this dianthus, which has a little bit of a reflower. It flowers early summer. Love this one. It just needs to be trimmed back a little bit. I've got a little bit of phlox in here, which is passable. And I say passable because love the colors of the phlox down here. However, they're not really drought tolerant, but I get a lot of compliments from the neighbors because they're such a bright pop of color. I'm going to come back to this aster. And then I basically just have a continuation of my coneflower, my Russian sage, my grasses, which I really love all of those down here. And at the end, we have some daylily division. So we're not doing anything with that corner right now. So the plants that I'm kind of up in the air about are my catmint, and I've got one down here that's doing great, but I think I have some others on the other end that are being overshadowed by some plants, and they do like their full sun. So I may keep those and just try to bring them along. And the asters. So I feel like they've gotten really tall, and it's really my mistake because really to prevent this, they can be pinched back during the summer to make them shrubbier. However, this garden really needs to be little to no maintenance. So although I do love them here, and I'm going to show you the color of them over here, I'm just not sure that they are the right plant for the right spot. So I'm kind of up in the air on this. And when I'm up in the air on something during a garden renovation, what I will do is I will do the definites. So I will leave the definites and take away the ones that are definitely going. And then the ones that are a maybe, I leave them until the end and I put my new plants around it and see if it changes things for me. So now I just want to tell you quickly the plants that I'm not loving down here and why. And so the first one I started removing in the spring and I can see it's popped back a little. And it's this little plant right here and it's called Black Mondo Grass. Didn't do great in this site because it actually prefers a little more shade. So the sun comes up on the pond, and by the way, the pond looks gorgeous right now. So that's the sunrise and then the sunset. So it gets quite a bit of sun here. Things get really beaten up in the winter, the snow, the salt, the sand. And this plant, not only did it not do well, but I just feel like it's too dark of a color. It just the foliage really doesn't pop here. So I'm not loving this one, and I've been trying to remove that one. The other one that I'm going to remove is the Snow in Summer. And it is a beautiful ground cover. In the spring, it'll get some really pretty little white flowers, gray foliage. However, it's been here 3 years, and the previous 2 years it did fantastic, and this year not so much. And I have been hearing that it will just kind of fade out, and it's not really a long-lived perennial. So this one here is doing well. I have a few of them, and I may try to relocate this one and take the rest out. So I think that's it. I've got another phlox down here that is kind of a maybe for me. Like I said, it's tough because everyone loves the color, but you can see that it doesn't like the neglect. It's actually a little more of a higher maintenance plant, but it is well worth it. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you how I transform this space. I'm back with the results of my little garden reno at my house, which is across the street down by the water. And I just want to show you what I've done. The sun is going down quick, but it is beautiful here. And that's what happens in the fall. It's great working weather, but boy, do the days get shorter. So my new additions, you may have seen this in a video that I just did about picking up some plants on sale and finding them a little pot bound and how to deal with that. But they're really settling in nicely because during the fall we do get a lot more rain. And so it is greening up a little bit. So I'm really happy about that. So I had a few of these Pennisetum Redhead, which are a newbie for me. I'm trying these out in my own garden before I use them in my clients' gardens. And I ended up finding some spots for them. So there's a couple in here. And then I ended up mixing them in down around the corner with my daylilies. These are actually all relocated daylilies. I'm trying to fill it in because it's a little bit of a slope and I really just want it to look natural. So I thought the grasses looked really great with the daylilies and it's good continuity here. So it's turning out to be a ornamental grass garden, which I actually really love. It's really shining this time of year and it's a great setting for it here. I ended up leaving my asters here. And you know what? I'm actually okay with the size of them and the shape. Even though I didn't get to pinch them back this year, they're starting to flower, and you all know how much I love purple. I added a couple more of my Russian sage because I love them down here and they're so easy. So let me find you a little baby here. So we did a couple of those toward the back. This area is challenging not only because it's a roadside bed and it's very far from our water source, but also with these big blocks that we're using here as a retaining wall, you can only plant, they're kind of like angled and they just have little gaps in between them. So you have to be really strategic where you plant. So that's why it's kind of a nice natural arrangement that we have here, and I want to keep it that way. All my coneflower, as you know, I'm an echinacea fan. I'm trying to leave the cones for the birds. And I moved around a couple of my sedum because this is Daphne sedum. You also may have seen this in some other videos. I think in my sedum or my drought tolerant video, but I do love that one. It was really getting shaded by the asters, so I had to relocate those. I ended up moving my tall hot pink phlox, and it was gorgeous down here, but I ended up moving it up on the terrace wall close to the house so I could keep an eye on it and keep it watered because, like I said in the beginning of this video, it does require a little more water. And what else do we have here? We've got some other nice grasses. I love the tall grass in the back, which is Carl Forester. That grass is Carl Forester grass. And one here that I've really been trying to bring along that I'm leaving for now because I'm noticing it's really developing is this pink muley grass. And I really hope you can see it. This is the first year that it's gotten any plumes or flower heads on that one. So I'm really excited about that one. And then let's see, I have some little pennisetum in the front here, hamelm. And then I decided to leave the dianthus down here because I really love that. Now, this isn't its time of year. It's a late spring, early summer flower. Really nice perennial, but I am getting a nice light reflowering here. So that is it. I did a quick mulch with what I had left from my mulch pile here. I had a little pile that I've been saving for something, so I did a light mulching, and I especially brought up some mulch around the newbies so they'd have some added protection, and I'm super excited about this. I really like this transformation. I do think that I have some room for a few more plants. So I'm starting to think about that, but stay tuned. I'll keep you posted on the progress. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I have a lot of fun doing these videos, and I appreciate all of you at home watching. Sun's gone down, it's getting dark, so dinner time for me. If you like the video, go ahead and tap like, and please subscribe to our channel. We have so many more gardening topics that we'd love to share with you. In the meantime, let's just enjoy this because it's fall, and boy, is this some gorgeous weather and a beautiful view framed by a garden.